Hey guys, it's Maddie, and welcome back to Blank Explained in 8 minutes. Now, solely because this album has 30 songs on it, I'm assuming this is going to be longer than 8 minutes. I apologize for this, but I also want to make sure that I do a good job, and the album did just come out, so some of the newer Vault songs I have interpreted right off the bat, but obviously as you listen to a song more, you kind of understand it more, so those are subject to change. But as for the original 19 tracks on the deluxe version, those are pretty concrete, so let's get right into it. So the first song on the album is State of Grace, and this is an upbeat introduction. State of Grace discusses the feeling of life moving so quickly and how Taylor's love life has been doing the same. She finds this person unexpectedly, and the idea of their relationship being a state of grace means that the love was both amazing and awful, that it was almost spiritual. In theology, the phrase itself means a condition of being free from sin. Taylor references love as a ruthless game, but that it's worth the fight. Track 2, the title track Red, takes us through a whirlwind of a relationship. Drawing themes from track 1, Red details how the love was so great at times and then suddenly filled with despair. Practically the whole song uses similes, and the symbolism of the color red itself describes how at the beginning the love was passionate and exciting, but as it progresses, it represents pain. Other colors mentioned, like blue and gray, represent sadness and loneliness. By ending the song the same way as it begun, loving him was like driving a new Maserati down a dead-end street, shows that no matter how fast-paced or exciting the relationship was, it all ends in disappointment. Track 3 is Treacherous. Something treacherous is something that may be hazardous or deceptive. Throughout the whole album, Taylor sings about a relationship that was short-lived and intense. In Treacherous, she realizes that this relationship may not be what's best for her. Regardless of her acknowledgement of the danger, by ending the song with, "This hope is treacherous, I like it," it gives the listener the idea that although she knows the relationship is likely destined to fail, she doesn't mind for the time being. Track 4 is I Knew You Were Trouble. Again, a constant theme in the album is recognizing that a relationship will end, and this song shows Taylor's regret in how she handled the situation. She realizes that these red flags were always present, so she feels that the blame is on her for her own hurt. She fears that this person never loved her or even anyone and was nothing but emotionally manipulative. Track 5, All Too Well, is probably one of the most iconic Taylor Swift songs to ever exist. It's the ultimate heartbreak song. This is going to be about the normal version, but I'm sure the 10-minute version is along the same lines of the theme. And in a storytelling manner, Taylor illustrates the short-lived relationship that she remembers so vividly. The scarf is a major motif in the song, representing Taylor and the lasting effect that she had on her ex. By saying that he keeps the old scarf, she's implying that while he's moving on, he'll never fully let her go. There is intense imagery in the song, which supplies the listener the feeling that they were really, really present throughout the whole relationship. If you want me to do an in-depth video on the 10-minute version, let me know in the comments. Track 6, 22, is simply put a song about living while we're young and living in the moment. Your 20s can be confusing, happy, lonely, free, and fun, and Taylor embraces these feelings. Also in the music video, she wears a shirt that says, "Not a lot going on at the moment," which became a popular motif throughout her career. Now, whenever she makes a post with that caption, we know she's up to something. Track 7, I Almost Do, is about yearning for your ex after a breakup. Mourning a breakup is almost like mourning the death of somebody. In a lot of cases, you lose all contact, and all you have is the pain and the memories that you made that you know you'll never live through again. Taylor says that she wrote this song in order to avoid picking up the phone and calling her ex. You want to give them a second chance, but you know it'll only cause more pain, so you hold back. Track 8, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, is the ultimate upbeat breakup anthem. It's about the realization of the toxicity of a previous relationship and how you can't even imagine how you put up with it. It shows growth and the realization that not every relationship will work out, and the acceptance that that's okay. Taylor's secret message for track 9, Stay, 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 was daydreaming about real love. While she may not have gotten true love at the time, she had these happy scenarios that she could imagine in her head, that despite hardships, you will always choose your significant other and you will work through the disputes. Track 10, The Last Time, uses the perspective of both parties in the relationship. The first verse is the male's perspective, how he finds himself at her doorstep wanting another chance. In the second verse, Taylor sings about remembering all the times he'd leave her and how this is the last chance for her to become his number one priority. Track 11, Holy Ground, is about reminiscing fondly on the memories made during a past relationship, and almost about how time can heal. She finds herself doing activities alone that she used to do with her ex, but she isn't upset about it. Rather, she is mature enough to realize that even if the relationship is over, you can still be happy with what it was while it lasted. Track 12, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated songs in Taylor's discography. It's a song that details a doomed relationship and how she knew it would end in hurt but couldn't step away from it. In the second verse, she sings about only seeing him in her dreams while they're both in different cities, alone and broken up. The relationship had its beautiful moments, but in the end, it was a tragedy. Cleverly set at track 13, The Lucky One, because Taylor's lucky number is 13, details a story of a person growing to fame, but then quickly wanting to be away from the spotlight. The song commonly says how people will tell this person they're the lucky one for being famous and successful and constantly in the spotlight. The second verse starts to discuss the downsides of this, saying that you feel used and disposable, and that there are tons of people ready to take your place. The bridge reveals the disappearance of this person, that instead of performing at Madison Square Garden, they've chosen to have their own rose garden, which are two polar opposite things. The song questions the perceived perks of fame and may reveal some of Taylor's true feelings about her time in the spotlight. Track 14, Everything Has Changed, is a song about realizing you're falling for someone new after being heartbroken for so long. It talks about taking down your walls and becoming open to give yourself to this new person, and how refreshing it is to feel love again. Track 15, Starlight, is a song about Ethel and Bobby Kennedy and takes inspiration from the 1940s. Taylor was inspired by a picture of them when they were 17 and sings about what a good time they looked like they were having. Overall, it's an optimistic song with a historical background. Track 16, Begin Again, is somewhat similar to Everything Has Changed. It discusses the optimism about a budding relationship while acknowledging the mistakes of her past relationships. She makes a lot of realizations throughout the song about how poorly her ex treated her, like how he didn't think she was funny and how he was always late. She has a new perspective on love, that it doesn't always have to crash and burn, and that it can be healthy and exciting. Track 17, The Moment I Knew, is about how Jake Gyllenhaal didn't show up to Taylor's 21st birthday party like the absolute jerk that he is. She tells the story of how she was anticipating his arrival the whole time, but he never showed up. In this moment, she knew that he was no good for her and that she had to put the relationship to an end. In a way, this is the story of the final straw. Track 18, Come Back, Be Here, is a song essentially about the difficulty of long-distance relationships. Oftentimes, you have to weigh if the pain of being apart so often is worth the time you get to spend together. She has to consider the relationship and see if she wants to continue to put herself through this hurt. Sometimes when you miss someone so much, all you can think about is what they're doing, who they're with, and that you wish so badly that they were with you instead. Track 19, Girl at Home. In this song, Taylor tells the story of a man who hit on her, even though he had a girlfriend, and Taylor knew that too. She thinks it's disgusting and essentially reprimands him for the entirety of the song. She knows what it's like to have been cheated on, so she absolutely refuses to feed into this flirtation. Track 21, Ronan, is a heartbreaking track about a 3-year-old boy who is battling cancer. Taylor wrote this song for his mother, Maya Thompson, who kept a blog called Rockstar Ronan, where she wrote about him and his journey. Many of the lyrics were taken directly from the blog, which is why Maya is listed as a co-writer. All proceeds from the song were donated to the Thompson family's own foundation in memory of Ronan. Track 22 is Better Man, which is a song that Taylor gave to the band Little Big Town. It's about knowing this person is not right for you and not at your own fault because they're just not mature enough and don't treat you well. There's nothing you can really do but wish that they were different, and it's about accepting the sadness that comes with the breakup but realizing that it's for the best. Track 23, Nothing New, is about feeling like you're turning into an old toy rather than a new, shiny one. Taylor talks about the feeling after your first breakthrough. You have all this hype about yourself, but by the 3rd or 4th album, you feel like you're losing your novelty. This feeling is especially prominent in female singers, as Taylor says. Taylor gave track 24, Babe, to Sugarland, and she performs backup vocals on the original version. Like many other tracks on Red, in Babe, Taylor looks back on a failed relationship. She paints herself as the one that got away rather than her ex being the one that got away. She sees it as almost a waste of time and unfortunate that she had to throw it all away because her ex messed up. Track 25, Message in a Bottle, seems to be thematically tied to Come Back, Be Here. On this track, Taylor sings about a long-distance relationship and how she feels hopeless in terms of staying prominent in her significant other's life. All she can do is reach out and hope that he returns the gesture. Track 26, I Bet You Think About Me. This is a somewhat spiteful song where Taylor sings about how her ex has likely moved on, but that she knows he'll likely never have anyone better than her. No matter where his next relationships take him, he'll still think about her. She discusses the major differences between her and her ex, and finally realizes his faults. In track 27, Forever Winter, Taylor sings about her constant worry about her partner, who seems to be facing serious mental health issues. This is a raw and honest track, and she details how she would often call just to make sure her partner was still alive. She says she would be his son forever just so he didn't have to live in a forever winter where the sun is sparse. Track 28, Run, is an optimistic song about just running away with your lover and forgetting about the troubles that you face day to day. It has almost a childlike undertone to it, making running away seem simple and like a viable option like we all used to think as kids. Almost as if, as long as they're together, it doesn't matter where they go. Track 29, The Very First Night, Taylor sings about covering up her heartbreak. Her friends think that they know everything that happened, but in truth, they don't know all the secret, sacred moments of the relationship and how she truly misses her ex. The first night they spent together is one of her best memories when everything was simple, new, and practically perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed my explanation of Red, Taylor's version. I am so excited about this album, and I love the bonus tracks, and the re-recording is just amazing. Her voice is so strong. Don't get me started on the 10-minute All Too Well. I'm currently sipping on a Taylor's version latte, so go to Starbucks, get yourself one, listen to Red. It is an amazing experience. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!